I feel so privileged these days. Now when I meet my stars, I've at least seen their work. In the previous days or years, we used to come and meet them before a film or before a show, and there used to be all this, and what else is there, and what else is there? I can proudly say I've seen so much of it now. And congratulations on this fantastic ensemble cast. So, Shreya, thanks so much for joining me. And unfortunately, very far off, everybody.
Thank you.
Konkona, such a pleasure.
I'm going to do it anyway.
Sir, how are you doing? Nikhil, good to see you.
You've committed.
Yes, now, once I've gone ahead. But, rarely do shows give enough meat to every single character, to the story, to, leaving enough in the minds of the viewer. And your show manages to do that. It's incredible. So, Mohit, I'm going to start with you also because I feel there's so much that you've had to people still have an image in their head and that image is slowly fading away with your naye avatars that you're playing with. And this is a beautifully etched character also. There's so much, this is not, in this part 2 is not just you a doctor. There's so much emotion in there. There's so much more. Once you see the episodes, you'll understand that there's a huge inner fight that's going on. So, this was like a fantastic, character sketch for you.
Oh yeah, thank you. We were just discussing what is more important, the story or something else. But having said that, I think the story really matters a lot. Whatever it's written in the season 1 also and season 2 also.
Yeah.
It's written so beautifully that we genuinely, when I say that, our job is the least difficult job as actors when we go on the set.
Correct.
Madai Prakash, our DOP, the production designers, the director, Nikhil, and everything. And our preparation beforehand was so deep and so intense that when we went on the set, we knew exactly what we had to do. So the credit goes to Nikhil for that. He made things really easy for us. And yes, obviously you see Dr. Kaushik Oberoi, a different side of him in season 2 because he's on the back foot. A lot is happening in his personal life and in professional life because he's going through the legal battle where he cannot really go and, operate and be in the hospital. And all those emotions are there. So I think getting an opportunity to play such a character who has these different variations in this season particularly, I think it was really I feel really lucky to be in Kaushik Oberoi's shoes because in the first season it was more about his emotion.
Obviously, it was establishing also the characters. Yes.
So I guess that's the feedback that we got.
It's so much chaos, so much darkness, there's so much happening in it. I'm saying that rarely can a show do justice to everybody, but this does. So when you're always seeing the final product, where you're also saying, yeah, not bad, man, we managed to do exactly what we set out to do.
If it's season 1, then yes, because we haven't seen season 2.
You all have not seen season 2? So I'm actually...
We are tonight.
You're the only one who's seen it, so well, that makes 2 of us.
Yeah, that's right. So remember that scene and what that happened? No, I think
we have read the script, Kuch bhi.
I think in the first season, that journey from script to what you saw on screen was, so well accomplished. And I think in the second season, the challenges were higher because you were now trying to create this atmosphere of rainfall, of intense floods. How will you shoot this in a way that feels authentic? Because the rest of the show is so authentic, you can't create production around floods which suddenly looks like, oh, this doesn't feel real, or this is...
What really feels real is a bad connection. It's there every day.
That's right, absolutely. So I think the amount of research that went into the second season, also because the floods happened 18 years ago. We don't realize it's a long time. So, how did the city look like at that point in time? How did the floods impact different parts of the city? A lot of work was done to get that right. And then actually to create the set, and of course the three of them will tell you about how challenging it was to actually shoot in the water and with rain on top of you and grimy water all the time. Fortunately, I got to watch the edit sitting in the comfort of my home. Well done. But I think in the second season, they've also managed to accomplish what was written in the script on screen, though this was an even more challenging season to pull off. And really hats off to Nikhil and the crew and to MA for having pulled that off.
Mumbai Diaries is incredibly complex also because everyone has a certain backstory. There's a lot of internalization in it, and somebody who I've always been in awe of, and so many of us have always, and I know that she probably hates the fact that we heap so much of that on her, but Konkona, you're always such a wonderful exponent of the art. There's so much, there's this fear in this character, then there's that, you're fighting with the rest of the crew also, trying to justify certain actions also in this character of yours. Even the little bits of flashback that are there, it's not linear. You've not shot it linear. It's all there. This really is a very, very... Yours is one of the most complex characters also. To coming of age from my past and my present and the future.
Yeah, and we don't see a lot of this kind of stuff actually, and handled well on screen. And actually, it's just really smartly written actually, because it's an emotional medical thriller. So all of them really work. So already you know the characters.
Yeah.
And in the first season, you already have like a tense situation and you kind of know the characters. Now in the second season, you found another kind of a tense character, which again, many people will relate to, many people will remember. And then you're also now diving into the stories of each. So this is what is lovely about web series and about season after season, is that you can actually get into those stories as well. So there's a nice balance.
There's this scene where you've been traumatized by your husband and your insider. He puts you in that cellar and then you come out and then you forgive him. Am I allowed to say all that?
I don't know. That's why I'm just giving a quick look.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think we're allowed to say
how
this.
sad.
No?
I can't even discuss.
Do we have anybody telling us anything? No?
Okay, there's a lovely scene that you come out with and you sort of forgive him with your eyes.
Yeah.
I think
heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking.
So many women today, they, like I said, it's almost like I was watching society, and that's what happens. You end up giving up and giving in. So even this show represents what the world is today
because,
also.
it's very real, I think, because so many, intelligent, successful women regularly make bad emotional choices. It's shocking, actually, how late they learn, or sometimes not at all.
Correct.
Or sometimes they don't have those options. They don't have financial choices. They don't have options like that. So it's great that it's out there, and it's dealt with in a sensitive manner.
And it's fantastic. And there's a lady who's just on a bit of a purple patch. वो क्या होता है ना जब कोई batsman 50 बनाने लग जाता है, then suddenly hundreds become, oh, he only scored 78 today. But Shreya is one of them. This is one of those.
I was not expecting that at all. I thought it was still Coco's card.
No, man. You have come into your own in the last 3-4 years, and I'm loving that bit about you also. You are experimenting with cinema. You're experimenting. It's so easy to have sat on one huge success, this mega success, and then say, I'll only do this kind of work. And you don't do that. We met recently as well when you done that film with Dulquer, and you said that, I like it, so I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
It's very tough. Those choices being made easier because so many different choices being offered in OTT, or just you?
I think a little bit of both, because I can't choose if it's not being offered to me. So I can only choose from the stuff that's out there.
The spread is big now. Choice wala.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Quantity, yes. Quality, not so much.
Mohit, do you also face that? Quantity, yes, and not as much quality, or you anyway say no a lot more than you say yes?
I do say no more than I say yes, but yes, I think quality. There has been quality. I think I have been lucky in that way. There are if 10 things get offered, so 6 or 7 are quality things. So I get to choose from that. So I think I've been lucky in that way.
It's a very complicated world to even navigate in OTT. Every day some 70 shows are being launched. New channels, and yes, the faces are familiar, so you'll end up seeing, but I'm sure you'll also get confused. Oh, is this one? Is it today? So when people see me coming in, which one have you come for? Is it that one? I said, because these 3 actors, how tough is it to survive, to be seen? Everyone's trying to make a good product. Nobody's going to set out to make a bad product. But is there a small blueprint that is sort of coming out, and which is uncanny because everything is blue today, but yeah. But is there a blueprint that is sort of being semi-understood?
I think I'll tell you about our philosophy to choose the kind of shows that we've been choosing, and it's really about identifying stories which are unique and compelling, and partnering with makers who have a really strong passion for the ideas that they're pitching. There's of late also a third important layer, which is, we want to tell, rooted Indian stories, because we feel increasingly those are the ones that are also traveling outside the country.
Right.
And the moment you're your narratives are similar to, let's say, something that Hollywood is doing, those tend to travel less because Hollywood can do it better.
Yes.
But when you choose subjects and characters and worlds which really belong to India, those emotions are universal, but the world is specific to this, this country or this city. Those tend to travel abroad quite a lot, which is a great advantage. In fact, even in season 1, more than 20% of our viewership for the first season came from outside India.
Wow.
And this was not just Indian diaspora,
Yeah.
but actually people who are non-Indians who are connecting with the emotion as
Yeah, it's not the typical what you'd expect us
Yeah.
to make.
Yes,
For
absolutely.
that diaspora also.
Absolutely. Even the diaspora loves it. And as Konkona was saying, this is a sort of emotional medical thriller. So those emotions connected in a big way. And because those emotions are actually much deeper in the second season, it's set about 9 months after the first season, and the crew at the hospital is not only dealing with the events of the previous season and their repercussions both in their personal and professional lives, and they haven't fully sort of come to terms with it. And here there is now this unexpected new crisis sort of, they're forced on them, and they have to deal with that and deal with, keeping their emotions aside and putting the people first.
Yeah.
So, it's a very strong, really strong story. And we feel that this one should also receive as much love as season 1 did, which was, I guess they'll all tell you.
I loved it as well. I like I said, I love the fact that everyone has enough space to play with it.
Yeah.
It's the toughest thing that you all face. This is to all three of you all while filming. And I don't mean the physical aspect of all the chaos that was going on, but the toughest thing for you also in the show.
I'm still reeling from the introduction you gave me. I can't get over it.
I mean every word, and you know that as well. Always.
Please, man. Don't make me do emotional drama thrillery things here.
But toughest thing, back to the question.
Actually, I enjoy it when it's tough. So I don't tend to notice when it is actually, whether it's physically, emotionally, or mentally taxing. I like that. I think I'm drawn to things that are not quite easy. And the character in the show, Mansi Rani, is quite easy to hate, which has been expressed to me, about me, at me, since the first season. And I'm.
But there's a nice switch in this.
There is a nice switch in this. But apart from that, we also had the physical constraints. I know you're not talking about that, but there were physical constraints as well. You have to keep all of that while dealing with a very real, melting under all of that, right? So I don't tend, for me, I think when all these things get a little muddy and a little tough and a little irritating, I have a lot of fun, yeah. बहुत मजा आता है. I really like it.
I also want to tell you, so just in case you all get a little confused, this is being shot right at the beginning, okay? By the time the interview comes out, you all would also be able to see it online.
Okay.
You understand? So they would have also seen it. I, of course, so as an interviewer, I was given the privilege to be able to see a screener, which is why I'm able to give certain bits and pieces which they'll have to remember 2-3 years back. Yeah. So it's not like, beta, kal shoot karke aaye. So just keep that in mind as well. Tough at all for you? Tough at all for you? Any bits and pieces?
I think for me, physically, it was a little tough. Yeah. Emotionally, I feel I can do. I feel quite tough emotionally. Yeah. It's okay. No, generally also, it's okay. I mean, I feel like I'm a physical coward, not a moral one.
Nice.
But physical because there was so much happening?
No, because I had to be underwater.
Yeah.
So that?
And not in a pool. Not in a swimming pool, and I can't
She
swim.
can't swim.
What?
I don't swim, sadly.
They made you sign something before?
No, they were very
Yeah,
good. They were
agar mar
very
gaye, it's
safe.
your problem.
All of that was great.
Yeah.
But it's just like it's supposedly the basement of the hospital that's flooded.
Yes.
आप भी पानी के नीचे हो, bed भी पानी के नीचे है, desk भी पानी के नीचे है, गाड़ी भी पानी के नीचे है, because we're shooting many things in the same big pool that has been constructed. He will tell you more about that. He's also done that.
Yeah.
So for me, that was a bit unnerving, that whole aspect, and it's an action sequence.
And also,
that's all I will say.
With water, it must be getting icky also. No, you can't it's not like you can
It
get dry.
is.
also.
icky and then it gets cold and
And you
the
can see
AC is
tablets and
on.
syringes and like things.
दवाई जा रहा है float करके.
And you know it's been made specially for the set. So you know it's not act, but you're like, this is too good a job, yeah. It's too realistic.
But actually, it does look very realistic also.
Yeah.
You find anything tough? You've actually faced tougher sequences in them. You
bleak.
spent years of your life with a green screen. Mohit, this must be easy. He just sat alone and shot with a green screen.
Yeah.
तो ये तो हलवा है तुम्हारे लिए.
I mean, they disagree with it, and I'm not disagree, but they didn't like it. But I loved the water bit.
There's glee on his
Yeah,
face. There's glee.
I enjoyed every bit of it. You know, I used to wait for someone to tell me, "Sir, ये area dry हो गया." I would just take the bucket and just put water on me and get back. For some
Because
reason,
you like water, or
I just loved the whole. So you know, I became an actor because I just wanted to explore different avenues and understand different situations. So it was really fascinating for me to be in water the entire day and act and to portray, because you don't really get to do that in real life. I mean, so I
any
was,
disadvantages where the elements start to play, कि क्या मैं acting properly कर पाऊंगा इस पानी में कि नहीं?
नहीं मुझे
कुछ
कोई
नहीं।
प्रॉब्लम नहीं. No, I had no issue. The only
Acting करेगा, सब कुछ करेगा.
सब कुछ किया मैंने, and I really loved
I want
everything.
to just interrupt him just to say that it's not like you're in a swimming costume or a scuba diving outfit. Your dupatta is also there. Your heels are also there. Your hair extensions are also there. Now, coming back to you.
I had none of it, so I had
Heels
fun.
and heels,
Yeah,
hair
no heels,
extensions, or
dupatta,
dupatta.
nothing.
Yeah, the only thing that I had my glasses, so I
And
told
dark
Nikhil sir.
circles.
No, I had glasses. No, I realized that when if it's raining, I can't really act in the glasses. So in the beginning only I took out the glasses and kept it in the pocket.
Ah, smart.
So I said, let's do. So
Continuity jerk नहीं होनी चाहिए बाद में.
so I
This
enjoyed
is the
every
second
bit
season
of it.
improvement you did from the first season.
The tweaks.
Listen, did you all get big thumbs ups from Nikhil? Wow, very good, very good. No?
Does he do that?
I don't think he does that. I don't think he's a very.
He tells other people. If there are good things about us, he tells other people. He doesn't tell it to
So it
us.
doesn't, that's like
No.
sort of Chinese
Yeah.
whispers come to you also?
No. I don't think he's. but
Praises
that-
us behind our backs, which is the best thing.
Really?
Yeah.
No, I didn't feel like he's because Bichara, he's actually handling so many other things. If there's any issue or if there's any problem, then firstly he'll also immediately try to solve it.
Correct.
At least in my experience. Yeah. दुपट्टा ना अच्छा ठीक है निकाल दो एक और लेके आओ he has a very like what is it called proactive takes that initiative, so it's actually quite easy and relaxed in that sense to work with him other than the water bit.
And he doesn't get too carried away, excited that oh, amazing take, fantastic. He doesn't use those emotions to say anything.
So it's all inward only. अच्छा ही किया होगा, कुछ बोला नहीं है.
Next, चलो आगे बढ़ो. He's that.
No, but he said, no, he's fantastic, move on. Fantastic, move on.
That he said.
That
he
I've heard,
said.
I've heard that
And then
multiple
there's so many of us, so we are also busy with
And
each
so many
other.
elements also.
Yeah.
This one was massive chaos. We actually
Yeah.
watch it.
Yeah.
A closing word, does budget now come into perspective at all? No, not just with this. I want to know the new thought process of OTT. Pehle, there was no limit. That's what we used to hear. It happened even with podcasting. There was no limit. And then the limits started to come in. I mean, is it now viable to say, let's just do a really big thing and not worry about
I think in the first 5 years, as you're rightly saying, for the entire industry, it's about establishing the brand. It's about, making it credible, making sure that you get enough critical mass where there are enough number of people who are watching, so that it achieves some sort of escape velocity and doesn't become a flash in the pan. So you sort of tend to overinvest. But over a period of time, most places reach some sort of stability. And so there is a little more cost consciousness, but it's not stopping us from taking big bets. It's not stopping us from taking risks. Creative risks are still happening. Commercial risks are also still happening. But it's just a little more calibrated versus the last 5 years, and which is a pretty regular phase in any business's growth. And in fact, this year we've had a really fantastic lineup of shows, and right from small ones like a documentary called Cinema Marte Dam Tak, Dancing on the Grave, to sort of big shows like Farzi and
That was
The
fantastic,
Heart,
yes.
Made in Heaven, just recently
Yes.
Mumbai Meri Jaan, and now returning season of Mumbai Diaries. So we also did a family comedy called Happy Family, Conditions Apply, a horror show. So Adhura.
This is the buffet service is fantastic.
Yeah, so it's all still happening. We just have to be a little more calibrated with our choices, but nothing fundamentally that has changed.
You know, as audiences, we love it, man. It's just fantastic. Now you can go to one hotel and be going to a different floor and seeing different stuff. And I think what is also given is so many opportunities for actors and technicians to sort of push the boundaries. You'll see the three of them in roles that you might not see them otherwise, and that's the best part, you know. And then eventually you'll see them possibly not repeat this kind of stuff as well. So I think this is great. So thank you so much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining me. I could carry on forever, but time is always a constraint. But like I said, go watch this. You might have to see one if you choose to, but I didn't see one completely, I'm telling you that. And I saw two completely. So it still worked okay for me. The backstories are enough in part 2 to make you understand. It's not like you need to, because with her, the backstories start and there are enough flashbacks to make you understand Garbad hui thi. Okay, so that kind of scene. I'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.